Deep within the twisting halls of a dark labyrinth, a monstrous creature roams, half man, half bull, born from a curse and fed by fear. This is the story of the Minotaur, a beast of legend, a prisoner of fate, and a symbol of humanity's darkest desires. Who created this abomination? Why was it locked away? And who dared to face it? Tonight, we descend into the maze, where myth and nightmare become one. In Greek mythology, the Minotaur is a strange creature, the head of a bull, the body of a man, and a symbol of the wild instincts trapped inside human nature. The story of its origin begins with the hubris and disrespect toward the gods of a powerful king Minos of Crete. Minos was the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Europa, a mortal princess seduced by Zeus in the form of a white bull. When the king of Crete died, Minos wanted the throne, but his brothers challenged his claim. To prove that he was divinely chosen, Minos declared that Poseidon, the god of the sea, would send a sacred sign to affirm his right to rule. Poseidon answered Minos' prayer and sent forth from the sea a majestic white bull, a divine creature of extraordinary beauty and strength. Minos was supposed to sacrifice it as a symbol of gratitude and submission, but enchanted by the bull's magnificence, he broke his promise, hid the divine bull, and offered an ordinary one instead. Poseidon felt betrayed and insulted. Instead of killing Minos or destroying Crete, the god devised a punishment that was shameful and haunting. He made Pasiphae, Minos' queen, fall madly in love with the white bull. Under Poseidon's curse, Pasiphae, queen of Crete, was consumed with an uncontrollable desire for the divine bull. She lost all sense of reason and, in her desperation, turned to the brilliant inventor Daedalus, who was then living in exile at the Cretan court. Following Pasiphae's command, Daedalus constructed a hollow wooden cow, covered in real cowhide, large enough for Pasiphae to crawl inside. She used it to mate with the divine bull. As grotesque as it sounds, the plan worked. Pasiphae became pregnant, and the child she bore was a hybrid monster, with the head of a bull and the body of a man, eyes filled with fury and a primal hunger. The creature was named Minotaur, meaning bull of Minos. Minos plus Taurus equals Minotaur. King Minos was horrified. This was the price of his broken vow, but he couldn't bring himself to kill the child. It was, after all, the son of his queen, and it possessed unimaginable strength. From a young age, the Minotaur exhibited violent and tameable instincts. He could not live among humans and soon became a mortal danger to the kingdom. His hunger for raw flesh grew, and his strength made him nearly unstoppable. Unwilling to kill the creature but too fearful to let it roam free, King Minos ordered Daedalus to construct an underground labyrinth, so complex that no one who entered could ever find the way out. This was the labyrinth, a massive structure filled with countless winding corridors, hidden doors, and deadly traps. The Minotaur was imprisoned at its center, condemned to live in darkness, isolation, and bloodlust. Years later, one of Minos' sons was killed in Athens during a sporting event. Furious, Minos waged war against the city and emerged victorious. As punishment, Athens was forced to accept a shameful treaty. Every 9 years or annually, depending on the version, they would send 7 young men and 7 young women as a tribute to Crete to be fed to the Minotaur. These youths were cast into the labyrinth, unarmed and hopeless, left to be hunted and devoured. Each tribute was a national trauma for Athens, a bitter reminder of their defeat and helplessness. Theseus, son of King Aegeus of Athens, was a brave and clever young hero. When the third cycle of tribute came, he volunteered to be one of the 7 young men, determined to kill the Minotaur and end the nightmare once and for all. Before departing, he made a vow to his father. If he succeeded, he would return flying white sails on his ship, instead of the traditional black ones, which signified mourning. When the Athenian group arrived in Crete, Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos, saw Theseus and fell in love instantly. Captivated by his courage, she decided to help him, even if it meant betraying her father. She gave Theseus a magical thread possibly crafted by Daedalus, telling him to tie it at the entrance of the labyrinth and unwind it as he advanced. This way, he could trace his way back after defeating the beast. She also shared secret paths and the Minotaur's weaknesses. Theseus promised to take Ariadne with him if he survived. Theseus entered the labyrinth, letting the thread unravel behind him, and ventured deep into the maze. Darkness, damp air, silence, and the stench of blood surrounded him. At the very heart of the labyrinth, he came face to face with the Minotaur. The battle was savage and brutal. The Minotaur fought like a wild beast, charging with its horns and claws. Theseus dodged and countered, using his sword and wits to strike at the creature's weak spots. At last, he plunged his blade into the monster's heart, ending the long reign of terror. After killing the Minotaur, Theseus followed the thread back to the entrance. With Ariadne and the surviving youths, he escaped from Crete under cover of night, sailing toward freedom. However, during a stop at the island of Naxos, Theseus abandoned Ariadne either because Dionysus claimed her, or due to his own decision. Ariadne later became the wife of Dionysus, while Theseus continued his journey back to Athens. As Theseus neared Athens, he forgot to raise the white sails as promised. His father, King Aegeus, watched from the cliffs, and upon seeing the black sails, believed his son was dead. In despair, he threw himself into the sea, and thus, the Aegean Sea was named after him. Theseus returned as a hero, but his reign was forever shadowed by his father's tragic death and the ghost of the abandoned Ariadne. The Minotaur stands as a profound symbol of primal instinct, trapped within human consciousness. It embodies the consequences of broken vows, hubris, and uncontrollable desire. The labyrinth represents the internal maze, confusion, entrapment, and the journey through the subconscious. Theseus symbolizes reason and heroism, the one who dares to face the monster within and emerge victorious. The myth of the Minotaur has inspired countless works of art, literature, film, and psychology. Far from just a monster, the Minotaur is a reflection of the dark corners of the human soul, a reminder that the beasts we fear most often live within ourselves. And so ends the tale of the Minotaur, a story of pride, punishment, and destiny. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through myth, don't forget to like and subscribe for more legends brought to life.